Alright, good morning. So, yesterday I made a video talking about how it's going to be the foolish things of this world who are raised up to confound those that thought themselves to be wise. And, you know, when you pair that with what Peter is saying in 2 Peter 3, that in the last generation there's going to be mockers and scoffers, but he's directing us to Jeremiah 49 as well as Paul. You know, you get this pretty clear picture that it's going to be people like myself from the northern kingdom of Israel who are raised up in the final generation to go and warn Judah and Jerusalem specifically of their destruction. Now, the question is, why does it have to be people like me? Okay? Because Judah, you know, they are the Torah guys. They're the ones who have always held closely to the Torah. Well, when you read Isaiah 1, and it's talking about these people, now it's a dual prophecy. You can look at it like that. It applies to the southern kingdom of Judah, these people who deny the Messiah completely. But it also applies to those of the northern kingdom of Israel who join themselves to the Torah movement, which is basically just envying and copying the Jewish fables, you know, of the dusk-to-dusk Babylonian polluted Sabbath and profaning God's feasts and going to the sacrificial law. That's all the Torah movement is. Okay? Now, in Isaiah 1, it talks about when these people spread their hands in prayer and they make many supplications, that Jehovah will not hear them. He's going to turn his ear from hearing them. And the reason why is because it says that their hands are full of blood, which means that they haven't been doing what Ezekiel 2 and 3 and 33 has commanded them to do. So the law never departed from Judah. Okay, now it will over the years have dwindled, but like up in the rabbinical system, they know full well that we still have to keep the Holy Covenant, but they don't. They will have known that the northern kingdom of Israel got scattered into Assyria and that God wanted them to go out and find them, but they won't do it. Okay, so God has commanded the southern kingdom of Judah to go and find the northern kingdom of Israel, but they will not do it. And so because of that, as Ezekiel 2, 3 and 33 says, their hands are full of blood. Now, continuing on in Isaiah 1, it says that after it says their hands are full of blood, God commands them to learn to do well and seek judgment. Okay? Now, in James 2:8, which is where we actually see the royal law by name, it says, if you fulfill the royal law according to the scripture, which is Leviticus 19:15 through to 18, you do well. Okay? So, in Isaiah 1, it's saying, you haven't fulfilled the royal law, you haven't gone and found the northern kingdom of Israel, and because of this your hands are full of blood, so learn to do well, learn to fulfill the royal law, and go and do it. Learn to do well, seek judgment. Okay? And then it continues and it says, oh, the faithful city, Jerusalem, how it has fallen, or something along those lines. And then it says that it used to have judgment and righteousness lodged right into it, but now it's full of murderers. Okay, well, when Yeshua is magnifying the law, and he says, you've heard of old, thou shalt not murder, but I say unto you, if you even hate your brother in your heart, you've already murdered him. Now, what's really interesting about that, okay, is James 2:8, yet again, if you fulfill the royal law according to the scripture, you do well. Well, the scripture is Leviticus 19:15 through to 18. And in those verses, it says, you shall not hate your brother in your heart, you shall in any wise rebuke him and not suffer sin upon him. Thou shalt love your neighbor as yourself. I am Jehovah. Okay, so not rebuking your brother of their sin is hating him in your heart. And Yeshua says, if you do this, you're a murderer. So like Isaiah 1 just paints this crystal clear picture that the southern kingdom of Judah have not done the one thing that God wanted them to do, which was to go and find their northern kingdom brothers and sisters and fulfill the royal law and say, guys, you know this Christmas thing that you're doing? That is exactly what got you kicked out of the land of Canaan in the first place. What are you guys doing? You know, why have you changed the Messiah's name to Jesus? He's Hebrew, it's Yeshua. Why are you worshipping a Babylonian trinity? Why are your churches covered in graven images? What are you guys doing? That's what the southern kingdom of Judah was supposed to do, but instead, they fed their own bellies. They fed their own bellies, and they're going to be severely punished for it. Oh my goodness, my temperature thing on the car is so... It's like, oh, it's cold. I know. Stop telling us. Stupid, sorry. But yeah, like, that's... So, because they won't do what God has commanded them to do, instead he's going to raise up these absolute nobodies and these fools to do their job for them. But here's the thing. If they had... When you fulfill the royal law, you are offering up the most pleasing sacrifice of righteousness that you can. Because that's the most precious and most beautiful thing to Jehovah. You know, Yeshua said, greater love has no man than this, that he lays down his life for his friends. He's talking about fulfilling the royal law. So, if you do this, there is a great blessing for you from Jehovah. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting here making these videos just to receive a blessing. Sure, it'll be well received if I overcome unto the end, but that's not why I'm doing it. I'm doing it because I know the mercy that God has shown me, that he was merciful enough to wake me up to him. You know, I was an atheist / agnostic 4 or 5 years ago. I have no business knowing the Bible the way that I do. Absolutely none. And yet Jehovah has been gracious enough to me to reveal these things unto me. And then he basically says, okay, my son, now go and teach transgressors my ways. And I say, okay. Absolutely. How could I not? You know, because if he was merciful enough and gracious enough to gift me this opportunity, who am I to keep it to myself? And that's how the southern kingdom of Judah should have reacted as well. But instead they went, nah, we will keep this to ourselves. And they even went as far as, you know, because the evil family of Judah, they run the whole world. Okay, this is like, you know, conspiracy theory 101. The evil family of Judah run the whole world. So they run the churches. And so it was them who planted this false doctrine into the church that Israel, just God's Israel, is the Jews. Okay, and that the Christians are Gentiles and always will be Gentiles. They have stolen the inheritance of the northern kingdom of Israel. They wouldn't go and find them, and not only would they not do that, they stole their inheritance. And they've convinced all of the Christians that they are just Gentiles. Gentiles have no place with God. Judah, you are in so much shit.